The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
And joining me now in the Kiwi studio is the CEO of GrabOne, Shane Bradley, joining me in the Kiwi studio. G'day there, Shane.
Hey, morning.
1 year on since you launched, celebrating your birthday this week.
Yep.
Congratulations, by the way.
No, thank you.
Some businesses don't make it.
No, a large portion don't.
Yeah, but let's talk about the business, because since you guys launched, another whole swag of them have come into the market, and I guess you guys weren't the first to the market.
Yeah, it's sort of almost like two types of daily deals. We sort of call the daily deals market. One was in products, and that's been around since literally 2004.
Yeah.
And then in the last couple of years, the sort of whole services sort of daily deals sites come around. We're basically the third one to launch in this country of that.
And was it fair to say GrabOne in the States was sort of the first really?
Yeah, they're the granddad of them all, and they've sort of basically had the original idea back in December 2008 is when they launched.
And they've come to New Zealand now as well.
They have, yeah, not so much in a big way, because you've got to imagine, sort of company based out of Chicago, sort of looking at world domination. The probably last thing on their head is really getting down to New Zealand, sort of overnight. So they're sort of focused on some of the bigger markets, China, UK, and those sort of places.
It's been a big land grab.
It has,
hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for us, it was about getting into the ground, hitting it hard and fast, and scaling really quickly. So we launched the site within 4 weeks of actually saying we're going to do it. And then I came up with the crazy idea that let's get nationwide in sort of 12 weeks, and we sort of missed that by a day. But that was basically us launching in 13 regions around the country.
Yeah.
So we went from literally 6 people, from when we first launched it, to basically 36 people within 12 weeks.
Tell us how these things actually work. I mean, from woe to go, from business to the consumer at the end.
So we'll go and work with a business, and I'll use examples, say something like Fuller's Ferries, because we've sold thousands and tens of thousands literally of ferry trips. So we'll go to them, we'll structure a deal around their sort of, around their business. It might be like a 50% off for a ticket. And for those guys, they've already got like sort of hard fixed costs anyway, because their boat's going from Auckland to Waiheke anyway. So whether or not that's got 2 people filling up the boat, or whether it's got 20.
Yeah.
So we'll structure a deal around that. They can then fill up some of that unsold inventory as well. And the way that we work within sort of to have the site, we choose a day when it's going to go out to the market. We send it out on our morning email. People hopefully come and buy it, and like I say, we've had thousands of those buy it, and that's where it goes. But
you guys don't go with the structure of once we've reached a certain amount, then the deal is released.
Yep, we have certain bits of that, but they sort of become probably pretty irrelevant after the first probably month or two, because the numbers are so huge. I mean, you sort of literally when you're selling 10,000 movie tickets and 500 massages and that sort of stuff, having a sort of activation point of 30 or 40 it helped in the early days, but these days it's not so much.
Not so important. It was a bit of a gimmick. Was it?
I wouldn't say it was a gimmick, because it's actually a good thing for us to be able to go to a business and say, hey, back in the early days when people didn't sort of know what the business was about, so we can guarantee to bring you 50 people. So what would you, if you had 50 people, what would your discount be for that? Because it's a bit like you getting together with a couple other people on the road and walking up to a restaurant and saying, look, there's 4 of us, what deal can you give us for dinner?
Yeah.
We're just doing that on a bit bigger scale and helping people to do it.
Yeah. Now, the deals, they always, though, to me, seem to be along a certain line. It's like either a massage or some kind of beauty treatment or a trip to Waiheke. Stuff like that. It doesn't seem to be right across the board of consumer products.
It comes down to it's not so much products. So we've got a site that we just launched a week and a half ago called GrabOne Store, which is where we're getting to products. So that will sell things like computers and chairs and tables and that sort of thing. But GrabOne is all about things that eat, see and do. So it's always going to be about that sort of stuff. So it will be things like to Butterfly Creek, and for you and the kids, it can be mini golf, it can be a massage, it can be a haircut, it can be a ferry trip, it can be a trip to Rangitoto, it can be a snow pass, it can be a whole gamut of things. But really it's around that core thing of eat, see and do. We've got now GrabOne Escapes, a new vertical we launched, and that's for purely for accommodation deals. So again, the sort of analogy of that's a deal that goes up for 24 hours. Something a little bit different. It's not just like the sort of standard sort of booking engines you go and use these days. It's something saying, hey, look, I actually never thought about going there, but I might go there and away I go. So
do you guys charge a standard rate on a particular deal back to the business?
Commissions vary, and reason that is basically if you're looking at the making, say, 5% commission off a $1 deal, you're only going to be making 5 cents. But making 5% commission on a $200 deal, you're making a bit more. So again, it varies basically based on the size, how many we think we're going to sell. There's a whole science actually that goes in behind this. We've got sort of pretty big calculators now. Having done so many deals over the last year, we can now sort of pretty much tell if we do a deal what it's going to sell and when it's going to sell.
So now, I was just saying, you see so many of these sites out there now. Surely not everyone can survive in this business.
Absolutely not. I mean, it's a little bit like when TradeMe first started and everyone wanted to have an auction business. And it's, it's the same sort of, when you get these big waves, I mean, social networks are the same thing, and now there's pretty much, Facebook, and that's really it. So it's almost like a little bit like the Wild West. People get in there, go pretty quick. The first 2 or 3 years will be pretty sort of full on for everyone. And you'll find people will start consolidating, some people will fall off. You got that in Australia especially now. I mean, it's a really competitive market. And over here, you've already had one day out, pull out of the market.
Yeah.
They just, it's just too busy. I mean, if you're looking at the even companies that we track for our services, I mean, there's 11 that we track, and there's probably another 10 after that.
So will it be the first group to market that are the survivors?
Yeah, I mean, we were third to market, but we became sort of the biggest after the first day. And you're looking at us now, we've got about 65-70% market share, and the rest of them are sort of all under 10. So we just really concentrate on doing what we're doing, which is providing the best deals on the best site and backed up by the best service and that sort of thing.
How much is in a name like GrabOne? How much of the success is in the actual branding itself?
I think the whole branding side of thing is pretty key, because especially in this sort of business where you want to be something a little bit different. You got to sort of break out from the competition. So for us, GrabOne actually wasn't even our first name that we're choosing. It was one that we did about a week and a half before we launched. We long story short, but we had to change name. We changed it to GrabOne. It was actually, it's a perfect name for it. It's been exactly, and for working around what we call our Grabbies, which is our members, we call Grabsters, which is our sort of people who work for GrabOne.
Yeah.
So it's just been perfect for that.
So have you had to license that name worldwide?
Yeah, we've got the domain name now in 47 different countries. We're at the .com,
.co.uk. So is it GrabOne.com?
Yep. We've got, obviously for Ireland, we're GrabOne.ie. We had that. We're in Australia, so GrabOne.com.au. So you're right the way in the place. It just leaves us options open.
Yeah. And with a site that relies on people perhaps hitting it at a certain time, or when did the deals become available? Is there a certain time of day?
Midnight, from basically 12 to 1. Yep, midnight to
okay.
midnight.
Is that a technical challenge to make sure that a site remains up and available for people?
Yeah, it is. But again, the good thing, we've got a bunch of really great dev guys who, a lot of those guys have been working with me on various other sites for the last 4 or 5 years, and that's the best thing. Especially for the sales guys out there selling it, you want to know that actually the product's going to stand up. So today at the moment we've probably got 5,000 to 6,000 people on the site right now. It's just ticking over. It's going perfectly. We're probably selling 10, 12 coupons per minute as it goes. We've sold up to 2 a second. And that's a fair number of coupons getting sold a second. So, but you got to always make sure things work.
Have there been times where it's been challenging technically to make sure the site sticks around?
Oh, certainly. We did a $1 T-shirt deal, and that sort of that was pretty challenging for an hour or two. Because again, it's just when you send out, and these things just spread virally. You think when we first launched this time last year, we sent out an email to 351 people. That was it. By 11 o'clock, we'd sold 10,000 movie tickets, and we're selling at 2 a second.
Yeah.
And by the end of that first, I think we had 25,000 people in the database. So. It literally just went bananas that quickly because of Facebook, Twitter, and that sort of thing. It's so easy to share.
Yeah, so what is most important now? Is it email or just the website being there, or is it social media?
Email is a big part of it, and that would be the vast majority where people sort of get the deals from. But we can't underestimate Facebook in particular. And we've got 130,000 Facebook fans. You'll see some of the interactions we'll have. We'll do a post, and I think there was one thing last week. We got 1,600 votes on one of our posts. So that's big numbers when you're talking about that. And I don't think these sort of businesses would have worked maybe 5 or 6 years ago, where it was so reliant on people sharing stuff around it. So we've got a lot of people signed up with Facebook Connect who come to our site too. So. Very, very important. And
so now that you're moving into the product side of things as well, does that mean you have to now set up a distribution centre?
We work with partners. So like for our GrabOne bottle, we work with a company called Direct Wines, and we sort of partner with them. Likewise with our GrabOne store, we partner with a company called First In. They've already got logistics, they've already in products. We basically become almost like the marketing face of the GrabOne store, and they handle the logistics and the back end of it. And it's a win-win for both of us.
So I suppose it's essential creating a business like this that it can be replicated in other markets.
Yeah, absolutely. For us, Australia is a big thing. I just wish we got over there a little bit earlier than what we did. But, Dems are breaks. We've got 17 people on the ground over there now in Sydney. So that's going really well. We'll launch in 8 regions. We'll be soon to be 10 as well. We're in 3 regions in Ireland as well. So that's going actually quite well. These are all big competitive markets, but we think we've just got, I love Kiwis taking on the world. So that's what I sort of live for. And it's great to be able to sort of, take our platform and take it over there. And we think our platform's pretty cool. And we think our knowledge that we've built up of what makes a good deal is pretty cool too.
And what are your thoughts when you look towards America? Pretty impenetrable at the moment?
I think that thing will probably concentrate. We've had a lot of talks to people in the Asian markets. There's some sort of interesting Asian countries. UK is probably pretty interesting to us too, because we've had good success in Ireland. I think going to America, there's literally probably about 1,000 of these things over there. We'll probably wait for another 6 months to 12 months and sort of see how we're going in terms of the Aussie and the Irish and a couple other places. We've got some really good tech coming out in the next 6 to 12 months too, a lot of mobile stuff working, because the whole future of
Like
me,
apps.
this business is basically mobile. I mean, this analogy of me and you finishing this and saying, let's go and get a bite to eat. You bring up the GrabOne app, and of course says, hey, look, there's a deal 200 metres down the road from a place. We usually go to one that's 50 metres away, but this one's got a deal, so actually we'll make the extra effort and walk that extra 150 metres.
Yeah, and what would be the end process? That you buy it and then
You
show
buy
the
it,
app?
show on the iPhone. We've got an iPhone app right now. We've got an Android app coming out very shortly, and then there's just a whole lot of stuff coming out before Christmas. There's going to be some pretty cool things coming.
Sounds pretty exciting. Now, the next hurdle, of course, is to get over 2 years.
Yep.
I don't know what the stats are, but a certain amount of businesses fail within the first 2 years, and
They
then
do, yep.
and then 5 years is the next
Yep.
hurdle.
I think we've got a 150% chance we'll be around in this time next year.
Well, best of luck. Shane Bradley
Cheers,
is the
thank you.
CEO of GrabOne. Of course, that website, grabone.co.nz. Time now here on Kiwi is 9:23. Got a track from Super Turtle. This here is called About the Sun. Kiwi.